This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by Jack Threads. Coming up on Destructoid Live, we've got some news from Comic-Con, hot new characters for Saints Row 3, and a handful of Limbo codes to give away. All this and more coming up on Destructoid. Hey, welcome to our live show of Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville.
Happy Friday.
Happy live Friday.
Yeah, this is the first live show we've done in quite a while, right?
And I should have eaten that like wad of caffeine pills beforehand because I'm just feeling
You gotta loosen up.
I'm riding the snake.
Loosen up.
So anyway, T-Bird, guess what?
What?
Mr. Destructoid is in a level of Missplosion Man. It is the first TMS challenge, and all you have to do is go to the Play Challenge section, download the update, and play the level. And you've got until July 31st to do this. The top 3 contestants on the leaderboards will get ridiculous prize packs, which I'm told include a light-up Missplosion Man statue and a super rare Destructoid bobblehead like this one, which you see distracting you every day on the show.
Disapprove of what
yeah, you can have it shake its head. They also have T-shirts and other prizes, so go do that. Missplosion Man is on XBLA right now for a mere 800 Microsoft points, which is like $10.
So that's exciting news, Mr. Destructoid, and another video game.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so glad we have him there.
Yeah, your time will come, Max. Don't worry.
Someday.
In the meantime, in honor of our live show today, we got 10 Limbo codes for PSN to give away. I don't know if you guys know this, but yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of Limbo's release on XBLA. So we're having a little giveaway thing.
We're having a contest.
If you guys want to enter to win, just tweet, quote, I'm watching at Detoid Show live on youtube.com/Detoid for a chance to win Limbo for PSN, hashtag Detoid Live. We're going to randomly choose 5 winners at the end of the show. And because you're following us, or actually because you're following us, make sure that you follow us so that we can DM you the code afterwards, because, you know, why enter if you can't?
This might actually be sort of a promotional thing for us, so don't, you know, I don't want to.
It's not.
I mean, it'd be kind of weird. You also, like, you gotta pay attention, because these codes, it's like a scavenger hunt for your brain.
We're going to be so I said we're giving 5 away on Twitter, but we're also going to be randomly inserting 5 other codes throughout the show today.
Yeah,
so make sure you pay attention.
Wherever we can fit them in. Just anywhere.
Anyway.
You guys hear about that Saints Row the 3rd? I feel sort of shameless for reporting on this so much, because I've made no secret about how much I want to have a car named after me in the game. But a new trailer premiered today, which shows Johnny Gat robbing a bank dressed as himself, and we're formally introduced to Philippe Lauren, head of the Syndicate, who's evil and French. We also see some completely ridiculous stuff involving dancing, fighting, sort of body surfing on men dressed like energy drinks, and of course, purple dildos. You guys remember how I talked about at E3, how Saints Row had a slutty bikini car wash, and, you know, THQ had that to promote Saints Row the 3rd, and how Tara was like, we shouldn't wash the car because it's offensive, even though the car was pretty dirty, if you recall.
I don't know anybody who would remember that, because you've only mentioned it 3 times on our show.
Okay, we had the bikini girls. That was tawdry and sleaziness, but that was only the beginning. A few announcements were made about the game's voice cast. Returning once again to the role of Johnny Gat is Daniel Day Kim, who you probably know as Jin from Lost. Hulk Hogan will be providing the voice of Angel de la Muerte, who's the head of the Luchadors gang, and it makes sense because Angel's a professional wrestler. But even if it didn't make any sense, it's Hulk Hogan, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants, because he's the Hulkster.
Yeah.
Finally, though, the role of Viola Winter is being filled by Sasha Grey, who you might know her from the HBO series Entourage, or maybe the Steven Soderbergh film The Girlfriend Experience, or more likely from the hundreds of porno scenes that she's done. That dirty, nasty porno. I told you guys we'd talk about porno. No, she's nuts.
Yeah, she does some crazy shit.
Yeah, but I'm actually really excited because I've always, I've been like, I need the internet for work because I work for the internet. And people are always like, that's a load of shit, you need it for porno. But guess what, today I actually had to look at porn for work, so it's a proud day for me.
How was looking at porn a prerequisite for writing about a video game?
I had to find out how many adult films she'd been in, and by the way, if you search Sasha Grey number of movies, it does not come up with like, her resume, it comes up with other things.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway,
so
the filth parade of Saints Row the 3rd continues with news that in addition to promotional bikini car washes with the booby tits and the porn star voice acting, the game is also going to have some QA testing done by Penthouse girls. Now, if you're unfamiliar, QA testing refers to quality assurance testing, which is making sure that a game does what it's supposed to and that it works. And Penthouse is a magazine in which attractive girls take off their clothes, and well, girls are like that That thing.
I'm a girl.
Right. The models involved are Heather Van Deven, Justine Jolie, Heidi Barron, Shay Loren, Ryan Keeley, and Nikki Benz. And I'm kind of not being a good journalist here because I don't know what their expertise is with software testing. But I do know that Ryan Keeley has appeared on a bunch of the podcasts over at IGN, mostly giving sex tips. But so the point of my story here is that Saints Row the Third is ridiculous and smutty.
I don't know if that was news, but
that was
thank you for reporting on it, nonetheless,
Live hot
Max.
news.
I really can't think of two characters more perfect for Saints Row 3 than Hulk Hogan and Sasha Grey. Two equally ridiculous people in very different ways.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful.
Speaking of weird characters in video games, Mortal Kombat is getting a cameo too, from Freddy Krueger, everybody's favorite gay burn victim villain. The news broke during Comic-Con that he would be the fourth and final fighter to make an appearance in Mortal Kombat's DLC, which is now dated for August 9th. Along with that announcement was a trailer showing a more recent version of Freddy Krueger than the one from the original Nightmare on Elm Street movies. He's also got two claws this time around, which you see him use to slash people's skin off with. That's always fun. He also uses them as meat hooks to stab Cabal in the ribs and then carry him underground with him to hell. NetherRealm Studios teamed up with Warner Brothers to include the character in the game. It's offering a full moveset with 2 vicious fatalities and an arcade ladder story ending, since, you know, this is the final DLC for Mortal Kombat. Again, that'll be out August 9th for 400 Microsoft points or $5 on PSN, unless you have a Mortal Kombat Season Pass, in which case you pay nothing. Conversely, if you don't care about Mortal Kombat at all, then here's a free code for Limbo on PSN. 95CH. TPNL LTQL. Take it.
You guys in the chat, I'd like you to ignore Sean Feasy. That's a friend of mine. He likes to fuck with people on the internet.
Is he exposing the truth about you, Max?
I believe he said gay game is gay something.
Ooh.
He's
juicy gossip.
Trolling. Anyway, hey Tara.
Yeah?
Shut up. Just shut up right now. Shut up. We got some Skyrim news, kind of. The folks over at Bethesda, they've made some big impressive games, and Skyrim is pretty far up there in most people's lists for highly anticipated games of the year. And basically because of this, I think Bethesda's just like, we can do whatever the fuck we want. They can say anything. So for instance, their marketing VP, Ted Hines, he just sounded off on forced multiplayer. So when people ask for multiplayer for a game like Skyrim or Prey 2, they're like, why doesn't it have multiplayer? Well, our question is always the opposite when we talk to a developer. If you're doing multiplayer, why are you doing multiplayer? What are you trying to accomplish? If you're doing it just to check a box or because every other publisher says you have to do multiplayer, then just drop it. Don't bother. It's a waste of time. A giant distraction. It'll make for a worse game overall. So, bravo. That's kind of ballsy for them to say that, and kind of good, too. Multiplayer is fine. Everyone loves multiplayer when it's awesome, but I think a lot of developers feel obligated to just sort of tack that on when it's really not necessary. And if you think about it, like the amount of money that goes towards multiplayer, how many games would be improved if that money was spent on just the game itself? Yeah.
Interesting question.
Next, our pal Todd Howard, the game's director, chimed in with his thoughts on 3D gaming. Honestly, I couldn't care less. Having to wear those glasses, I'm not a 3D fan. It ruins the image for me. I want the clarity. I think everyone's got to keep trying, but I'm not sure.
Why is Todd Howard suddenly Willem Dafoe?
Because I wanted to do a fun voice. I hate reading quotes. It's like, here's something a developer said. Fuck that, developers sound like this now. So yeah, again, my sentiments exactly, Todd. I feel nerdy enough when I'm playing Elder Scrolls without having to wear glasses that make me look like I'm fucking Kim Jong-il. So I'm glad that Bethesda is sounding off on stuff like this, but guys, can we get some more gameplay footage, like now? Can we find out about cool stuff, like if there's a spell that makes dragons shit themselves to death, or if you put a squid bear like in the game, like I asked, because I thought it was. Just talk about Skyrim. Stop being like, developers do this. Just talk about Skyrim. Give us pictures of mammoths and giants and dragons and spiders and frost spiders and frost giants.
Any news is good news, Max, unless it's bad news, in which case it's bad.
Okay.
Let's get on with the news. Here's some that's sure to please you sussy social gamers out there. Looks like social gaming is coming to Google Plus, of all places. And before you facepalm yourselves, remember that this is Google and not Facebook. So there's a chance that it may be done properly and not obnoxiously. And here's how we know. Buried in one of Google Plus's help pages was the phrase, if you're looking for updates shared from games, check out your games stream, which included a defunct link to a 404 page. That sentence in the help page has since been deleted, but it does seem to indicate that your gaming notifications are going to be separate from your G Plus notifications, which is good if you don't like seeing your Facebook list clogged with 20 invites to join Robot Jesus Wars. Some other mentions to Google games were found after digging around in the source code for a while, along with a logo, which hasn't been published for legal reasons, I assume, and this mysterious code, 66GR54NJAF3P. What do you think that means?
I don't know. We should get our team of programming hacker nerd computer men to type it out.
Get on that. Anyway, although Google hasn't made any official announcements yet, they have confirmed that APIs will be available for third-party developers to create games for their platform. Duh. It was rumored around this time of last year, though, that Google had secretly invested around $100 to $200 million in Zynga. But let's be honest, they'd be pretty dumb not to. Zynga pretty much owns the world. I know they own me, at least. And there are still a lot of people on Facebook who refuse to switch over to G+. And Facebook games are probably pretty big reason for that. You think? Mm-hmm. Yeah. If they're able to capture that preteen girl and bored mom market that Facebook has done so well, then I think Google Plus will really be succeeding.
I think it'd be funny if Google actually captured a preteen girl. Just like, get in the Google van, get in that
Amber Alert.
Hey, we got some candy in that Street View van. Okay, enough talking about
kidnapping children.
Horrible things. Let's talk about a word from our sponsor. We all know that most guys hate shopping for clothes, and luckily now there's Jack Threads. Jack Threads is a members-only online shopping club that does the dirty work for you and saves you a boatload of cash in the process. Each day, Jack Threads serves up the hottest brands at up to 80% off what you'd pay in a store. Brands like Kid Robot, the hundreds in American Apparel for way less than you'd find anywhere else. Now, Jack Threads is a private club, but luckily, Destructoid's got the hookup, so go to jackthreads.com/destruct and you can become a member right away. Did we mention that it's free to join? It's no obligations, so just hit up jackthreads.com/destruct and you can start saving right now without having to leave the house or put on pants or anything. But you should hang out here for a little bit first because we got some news. Tara, what's the news?
So a couple months back, we reported that the Guitar Hero franchise had met its untimely end and had gone on to live in a big field with other video games where they could all play together and be happy at the end. With that in mind, it looks like Activision is planning to resurrect the series after admitting that they stopped loving it and that DJ Hero was the preferred sibling. Bobby Kotick, the CEO of Blizzard and part-time actor, told Forbes recently, quote, "We're going back to the studios and we're going to use new studios and reinvent Guitar Hero." Simple as that. He later said that part of the reason Guitar Hero failed was because they were so excited about going down this new direction with DJ Hero that they may have abandoned a bit of the innovation that was required in the Guitar Hero franchise. Truth be told, I kind of stopped playing Guitar Hero after the first game because I didn't like the music in the second and third ones, and I just stopped paying attention after the third game. But who knows? Maybe, Ubisoft is doing this Rocksmith game now, which is kind of similar to Guitar Hero, but uses a real guitar. And it kind of makes me wonder if Activision might be going down that same road, because
I don't know.
It's pretty impractical to expect consumers to buy really expensive peripherals for a game that they can only, they can only use it for the one series.
I don't know. It seems kind of weird. I don't know if Activision's really the type of company that would go after people's money. Take a franchise and try and reboot it. What?
To any episode of the show we've ever done?
A little bit.
Talking about Activision.
They're talking about tits in here, okay? I was trying to see. They want me to show the tits.
All right, we'll get with the tits afterwards. Give us some news.
Okay, so earlier today I talked about Saints Row and Skyrim and porno, and because it's my Friday, apparently, I get to talk about Star Wars now. Who here owns an Xbox 360? Or I'll throw it in the fucking garbage because Microsoft and the George Lucas Society of Preventing You from Having Any Money have teamed up to release a Star Wars Xbox 360 bundle, which you need to look at right now. Look at it. Look at it. Look at that shit.
I'm not even that familiar with Star Wars, and I want
Okay. Well, if it was just R2-D2 themed, I'd be like, okay, but it's got a shiny gold controller that looks like 3PO, and the Xbox lights up blue and makes R2-D2 noises. Like, seriously. And the inside of the tray says, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope." And on top of that comes with a white Kinect and a wired headset and a copy of Star Wars Kinect Adventures and access to exclusive DLC. Here's the part that really makes me want to punch myself in the genitals. It's $449, and I already have an Xbox. So I love R2-D2, but I don't think that I can justify $500 on an Xbox that just looks like him. But if it was my other favorite Star Wars Expanded Universe astromech droid, R3LN B3N3 524A, I might be convinced.
I like him. He's my favorite
great.
character.
Yeah, I know he was awesome in Heir to the Throne of the Empire, Shadows of. So in addition to this, we get to look at some of the Star Wars Kinect Boonta Eve pod racing levels. They're showing those off at Comic-Con right now, and those are really great if you want to stand in front of your TV and wave your arms around in the air like you're Jake Lloyd flying a pod racer. I got to play Star Wars Connected E3, and it's not terrible, but it's hard not to feel like the Star Wars kid when you play it. I mean, if you saw yourself doing it, which I did in my ridiculous Connect video, it's just kind of, I don't know. But hey, Lucasfilm, Microsoft, listen up. If while you're doing this stuff and you want my money, how about this? Star Wars Pod Racer HD for Xbox Live Arcade, because that was a really fun game, and get some of the Jedi power battles there too as well. You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Tara was cool back when Star Wars was around for...
I'll start if you can't finish it. Anyway, that's all for today's news. Before we go, a quick message. Would the owner of a 1982 Cutlass Supreme with the license plate H8G2FQNM DQTD please move your car? You're blocking my handicap space, which I need for my handicap.
What do you have
I don't want to talk about it.
Is it for the butt thing?
So, time to announce the winners of the Twitter Limbo contest.
Jessica! Okay. Everybody wants me to get shirtless. Thanks, Jessica. Twitter people, Dat William Hill, Ducky Dynamo, Misklit, Sabas, and Orvant. You guys won free limbos. We're gonna DM you.
Yeah, and anybody else who happened to snatch a code up while we were talking about it, congratulations.
Yeah.
As far as I understand, with PSN codes, nothing happens if you try to input one that's been already used. It just laughs at you, and then a troll face appears.
Bricks your console, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna do some questions and answers. What do you guys want to talk about?
Shoot us some questions over in the youtube.com/DToyChat, and we're gonna try to answer them.
What do we think about the game Catherine? We think, this is from SS Angelus X7, we think watch last episode. Because that's what we talked about last episode. It's directly below the chat window. It has a picture of Catherine eating pizza.
Catherine review.
What else do we have?
You guys want Mr. Freeze in Arkham City asks Cuckles22.
I think they got a holdout for...
What movie was he in?
He was in Batman and Robin. And Sub-Zero, which was animated. You're not missing much.
I have ridden the roller coaster though, and it was awesome.
Yeah. I'd like to see some of the villains saved for the third game that they're presumably going to make. What else do we got?
Irish Crixus asks, what do you think of the Wii U's chances compared to the PS Vita? I think they both got a decent chance. I wouldn't say anyone has one particular advantage over the other, although maybe the PS Vita, since it's likely going to be cheaper, and we haven't received a price point for the Wii U yet, so.
Well, I want a Vita, and I'm an industry person, so that's my expert pro-choice.
At this point, I'd probably take a Vita over a Wii U.
Okay, Max question. I don't know if you guys know, if you follow me on Twitter, @Max Scoville, I made a crack about how I would like to see a fake Max Scoville account, and then I got my wish granted ×7. I think there's currently Hipster Scoville, Little Girl Scove, Fake Max Scoville, French Scoville, Black Scoville, Hacks No Skill, Hipster Scoville.
That was the first one you
which
said.
is my favorite. I don't know. There's a bunch of them.
I'm not going to ask people for fake accounts because I know they'll actually make them, and then they'll be mean, and then I'll go home and cry when I make them.
I'm not behind any of those. That's just the internet being weird.
Let's see.
The Mass Effect movie. I don't know. We don't know anything about that right now.
Yeah, Game Addict Dude asks that.
Epically fucking pointless because it's already a video game that's really cinematic, and it's just kind of like, I mean, it's like having a band cover a song. Like, what would a Britney Spears cover of Poker Face sound like? What's the fucking point?
I might be more interested in the movie than the actual game at this point, though, depending on.
We
got 2 more questions, guys. Keep them coming. Anything that we haven't covered on the show, preferably before?
Do you think Uncharted movie will be any good from Irish Crixus? I don't.
I haven't seen much of the...
Same answer to the last question. It's really, really not a good thing to do. I mean, if you want to make a good video game movie, make it based on like a video game that doesn't have a whole lot of a plot. How about a Super Meat Boy movie done by Pixar, huh? Let's see that.
That would be kind of adorable, actually. It'd be a little bit gory, though, for children.
Okay. Tara, you pick one.
Okay, let's see here. Max. Wait, where did the question... I can't remember who asked it, but somebody asked, the chat is going so fast, somebody asked Saints Row 3 or Skyrim?
That's really a difficult question. I mean, I have Saints Row on pre-order. I want both of them. Right now I'm switching between New Vegas and Saints Row 2, so I imagine it's kind of going to do that. But I'm looking forward to both of them. They're totally different games, though. One of them has dildos in it. The other one has dragons, like dildos and dragons.
Yeah, I don't know if you can really compare those. It's like apples and
I just said that there's two games that I want the most, because I want fun and I want fantasy. Fun and fantasy. That's what I want out of my games. Finally, a question for you. If we were going to do a live show once a week, what day is best for you? It would probably be around 3 or 4 p.m. Pacific time.
That question.
Do you want Mondays, Wednesdays, or Fridays? The days that we normally do the show, but we'd be doing it live like this, answering your filthy questions about my diamond-studded tits. Yeah.
Let's take
Let us know in the comments.
Let's take our last question here.
Yeah,
let's see.
Pick a good one. There.
Nastasina Questoin asks, what old game has to be pulled from the past and put on PC, PS3, Xbox 360?
Oh, fuck.
God, the thing is, most retro games are on those consoles now.
Well, getting there. Time Commando for the PC and original PlayStation. My friend had a PC Gamer disc back in like 1996 that had that on it. I don't know if it's a good game or not, but I want to play it, and I don't want to go track down like a used copy somewhere and then try and get it running on whatever I have now, which is not, you know, like a Windows 95 PC. So.
Did they ever bring Time Crisis to console? That was a great arcade game.
Dino Crisis. That's what I want to see.
Our producer says yes. I'm going to go home and research this right now, actually. That's a game I haven't even
I'd like to see Farmville given a good update. Anyway, that's it.
Okay, that's all for today's show. Thank you guys
home.
so much for tuning in. We'll be back on Monday in normal format.
I wish we were at Comic-Con, but we're not.
Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.